Okay, so in the previous section we have seen during the creation of this Facebook kind of sliding pop-up, we have created HTML content and our CSS part. Now next what we need to go is for the scripting. If you imagine of, or if you think of writing the complete JavaScript logic for creating this kind of effect, like here in the first part, this effect, so that in an animated way this goes up and comes out, it requires lot of code, lot of scripting part, and in case of JavaScript it is very much typos and kind of thing occurs frequently. So to reduce all these, what we have in hand is this jQuery library, which I'm gonna make use of, and it is very extensively being used. And as I said during the startup also with the tutorial, that almost 52% or more than 52% of the most viewable website that we come across over the net are using this jQuery only, and it is developers or the web designers first preference to go for the jQuery when they need some kind of animation, some kind of DOM manipulation, or accessing the CSS part at runtime dynamically. They want to make changes to the DOM hierarchy, they just choose and go for this content, that is for this library, that is jQuery. It's a very powerful library from MIT. Once again I'm reminding you, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the developer team over there have created and provided us with lot of functions that is already pre-built, you can say, function for doing all the stuff. Like for example, you have libraries in collection API of Java or in collection API of .NET. Why you gonna make use of, so that to reduce all the task of data structure and data memory manipulation. If you remember, when you need to have an array list, when you need to have a set, a map kind of concept, you can use your data structure concept to create such kind of thing. But what do? You go for the library, the collection APIs in .NET or in Java, wherever you want, and you just make import for necessary packages, and you directly create array lists. You keep on adding elements. Similarly, for those stuffs like creating effects, animation, manipulation of this DOM hierarchy at runtime, applying the effect designs to our CSS selectors, what we have here in hand is this library, this jQuery library from the jQuery team. So we have just downloaded and tested over here. In previous section we have discussed it, so I'm gonna make use of it for writing a script. So you can once review the code. We have the head section which contain this style, okay, till here, this head section. After this I have a body section in which I have created some HTML content, and you can see that so far we have given such capability that only the first portion of the button is going to be visible, and the last thing is when we click on it, and when we click on it again, this should be disappearing and kind of thing. So for that I'm going to use jQuery. For those who are not aware of this jQuery, I'm going to explain each and everything in detail. So let me start here, how we write or include scripts in our page using the script tag. A script, we have this type, of course text JavaScript I'm going to use over here, the mostly used, highly used scripting technology. Then if you have to make an import for this library, like in case of a Java application, you have third-party libraries, you want to use it in your application, the functionality from them, what do? Use an import statement. In case you are programming or developing in .NET environment, you make a using statement, and in case of C++, has include was there, or if I remember it correctly. Similarly, if I need to use this JavaScript library, I need to use this script tag along with the src attribute. I specify the location. Again, as I specified the image location in case of button, here you can see in my current project there is a res folder where I am currently in the index.html. So I refer to the current location with a dot here. Say dot means current directory, inside slash represent inside it, inside current directory where this index.html, it search for a directory name res. Inside it find a library name, that is jQuery.min.js, jQuery.min.js. so this library is imported as part of this HTML page, and now the function from this library can be used as and when required. Next part is writing our own script using jQuery. So I'm gonna use this type text JavaScript once more. One script tag was just for import of this existing library, and second script is for creating our own functions or creating our functionalities to display those contents as per the requirement. So here I start with a jQuery, and I'm not gonna deal with all and every element that is available in jQuery, but in context of our requirement to develop such a Facebook like pop-up, we what are the part of the jQuery we need, I will deal with it and I will explain you. The thing is, it starts from a element called jQuery. Inside it, here we have a syntax to specify the name of the element in the DOM hierarchy or the ID or the class of the element over here inside parentheses. Like if I want to refer to the entire document, I write something like document, then followed by dot, the element you have selected or queried. Why it is called jQuery? Actually, it is JavaScript querying kind of language. It simply says I'm gonna query the element which you specify in parentheses, and after querying it, I'm going to invoke some kind of event, or I'm gonna modify some kind of CSS property that you specify over here. Like say I refer to this document and I say when the document get loaded, it is in the ready state, I need to perform some operation. So I write over here ready, and then I write over here function, and what all I need to do over here is I'm creating an inline function. This is all comes in one line. Actually, developers prefer this way, or the designers, to write all this JS script in one line. Actually, developers, especially jQuery developers, prefer this way of writing it. Although we can write function somewhere else and refer to it, but this is preferred way. What I'm doing, let me explain you once. This jQuery is the top level of element that is used to query the elements, the IDs or the class selectors in your CSS. Once you query anything you specify inside parentheses will be searched in the document. It is retrieved, it is queried. Then using dot, you refer to the functionality, you refer to the event handlers, you refer to the properties, whatever inside it. Like understand it in the concept of classes. What we have inside a class? Almost we come across the classes with some variables and some function. First of all, what we do, we prepare an object. The same kind of object preparation will be done over here using this jQuery string. This jQuery is a predefined string, and this jQuery string will query or find out or instantiate the object from this DOM hierarchy. If I say document, it will refer to the document. If suppose rather than document you want to modify some or apply some effect on this content or some button, so what do you write over here? You write something like this, has content. As you have written has content in CSS also, you can see over has text, has content, has container to apply effect. You saw when I loaded the page, this effect was applied to the element in the whole document completely. The style tag, when I specify with followed by this hashtag, it search for these IDs, and matching element with this ID will be applied with the effect that is written as key value pair over here in opening closing curly braces. Similarly, the thing is like this. Here what we are doing, we are searching the element in the DOM hierarchy, we are preparing the object, and then using dot we are invoking the function. Like writing new class name, this will create an object dot function name. You write it something like this. It is analogous to like this. If you have a class, you write sometime new employee and then dot function name. You can write it like this. The same thing you are doing. But exactly the thing is, to make it very precise, actually the developers at MIT, those who have developed the jQuery team members, they have made it very simple, very minimalist, or you can say the code writing process for the JavaScript is very much reduced. In one line you can do lot of several things done. In one line we have searched the particular element. What do you do in case of normal Java? You create a variable like say D, and then you write document dot get element by ID, and then you find this ID has content in one line. Second line you say D is referring to this element, D dot ready, this is one of the function. Or let's say if I'm saying this content is referring to the button, I want to refer to the click function, click event handler, sorry. So I say click, and in case of click, what do you need to do? If it is clicked, then you need to specify some function name, okay, and that function you can declare like this inline in JavaScript. These two line of task is done in two word. One word is the jQuery, which will query this element, get element by ID kind of thing, and then this is the event handler which we are referring. Beside this event handler, we can have a lot of different things. Like rather than the event, if I want to modify a CSS property at runtime, I want as soon as the document get loaded, or if someone clicks on the button, I want that the color of the button should change. So I can write something like this also, jQuery referring to the element, and I say over here only CSS, and then say the property. What do you want for the property? I say font size, and specify the size over here 24 pixel. So using this dot notation, we can access the event handler, we can access the CSS properties as well, we can access any kind of operation related to this element. Okay, so sorry, this is all I'm going to perform over here. That's why I'm explaining it in short. And one more thing is here, that beside this jQuery, as it is going to be used lot of time, I query first content, inside content I will go for button, content, text, and kind of. So to reduce this again, writing this text again and again, we have two way. One way is provided over here as a dollar symbol. Mostly we use this symbol rather than using jQuery. You can say it's a substitute for this jQuery, this word. You can use this dollar symbol, it is inbuilt in our jQuery library over here. But again, there is an issue that this dollar symbol is used by some of the programming scripting languages like server side scripts also. In case of Java, if I talk about JSTL and specific library set, EL expression language is mostly there, that uses this symbol for a specific meaning for writing expression languages. Or in Perl also, or in case of .NET also, this character has got a special meaning. So to avoid this, it provides another way where we can substitute this jQuery word with another word by calling a function called name conflict. But I think it's not necessary to deal over here. Either I write jQuery or I use the symbol. So instead of writing jQuery every time, I will use this symbol. So let me now just write the code to explain you what I'm just saying over here. So I just delete this blank. This is script. You can see I have created the block. So all I need to do is to first access the document. So I will write in short over here, rather than writing the entire jQuery. I say search the document. It will means refer to the complete document. Now it say inside it ready. This event occurs when the document hierarchy is completely loaded in the browser. Why I am doing this? So that sometime it happens that script is in the head part and this is body part. Sometimes script get executed before the document is completely loaded. If it is heavy, if it is like lot of contents are there and document was loading in the page in your user's browser, before that the script get executed, that may result in exception or error. So that we are doing a test over here. If search the document, this document element refers to the DOM hierarchy starting from body. If this body is ready, so what you need to do, you need to call a function. That function I don't know, I haven't decided about, so I create it over here. I say inline function. This is called inline function in JavaScript. The same concept is ready. When document, select the whole document, this body. If all content is displayed in your browser, this complete content, if it is displayed along with all text, images and everything, then call a function. Inside this function, now see here, very simple. I say declare a variable. Let's say I want to have a variable over here. Variable, let me call it open and initialize it with a value false. I say there is a variable called open and initially I want it to be in state of false, and if it is going to be changed to true, how exactly the logic I will write over here. And in JavaScript, you know, it is not a strongly typed language, so you know don't have to specify data type. I just say var and it's a data type. According to the content, the data type will be decided at runtime. False, true for boolean. Okay, so I declared a variable. Now again, when the document is ready, inside this function I declared a variable and I need to search for an element called button, so that when you click on it, I need to perform some operation. So again I use dollar, and here I'm going to refer to this button div, this layer with button. Why I'm invoking it? So that when user clicks on it, I need to execute a function. So using jQuery, either you write jQuery or dollar button query, find this button element anywhere in the page. It finds this element, then I say click. If the click event occurs on this button, if user saw, like our case is that when it get loaded, it comes over here. Now I have a jQuery running in the page at the back end. So when you click on it, this jQuery will query and it will be searching for if this element is clicked. What you need to do is to call another function. So I write or declare another function over here, sorry, here. Fine. So what I am doing over here, we have the document ready, variable declared, and when you click on it, what I'm gonna have is simply invoking a function. So I'm gonna just end it like this. You see here, this is the opening for your click and this is the closing for this click, and inside this you have a function, or you can write it in a separate line to make it more clear. Now you get it. We have this, when the first function is executed, as part of the first function, you can see here first function was inside this ready opening closing parenthesis. So as part of this function, we have content like this. A variable is declared and we are trying to search for a button named tag, and if that tag is matched and if it is click event occurring on this element, a function is created, this function here. Inside this function, what I'm trying to say is to simply check the status of this variable. If open equals to false, means I assume the content is not visible, or it status open equal to false means it is invisible or it is hidden. If open is false, it's not opened actually, then what you need to do, you need to make this visible. What do you need to make visible? This portion, the content you need to make visible. You have queried the button to check whether it is clicked. When it is clicked, the content need to be made visible. So again you need to make a search for content area in your page or content element. So if open equals to equal to false, how I search in jQuery? I write has content and I say only one function is there, that is animate. That will do the whole logic over here. What this animate is going to do, you have to understand. When you call animate, there are a lot of functions like animate, fade in, fade out, slide in, slide out. Lot of functions are there in jQuery. You can learn on your own, or if you require any kind of demonstration on any kind of special jQuery based tutorial, you can just post over there on the forum, on the blog, and I will prepare the tutorial. So I'm just making use of one function animate. I say query this content, and I'm not saying that some event occurs on it. I'm rather registering for an event and saying animate it. This content will be animated, and here during animation what I need to specify what kind of effect you want in animation. I just want that when someone clicks on this content, on this button, the content should be animated and it should be displayed. How it will be displayed? Right now initially its height is 0. If you remember here, height, what we have is specified the height. I said 0, I specified at that moment. You can see over here what is the content height, 0 pixel. It shouldn't be visible. Okay, and now I say animate it. How? So make its size or its height something like 100 pixels so that it will be visible. If I say make it 200, it will be visible, more part of it will be visible. I say animate it and I specify in this curly braces the key value pair what I want to animate. Height I want to animate with how much size? 280 pixel almost. I guess this will be the height of this particular box, this in the running application, this running one. Okay, this is our current application pop test we are building. So I say make the height 280. If it doesn't fit, you can increase, decrease, whatever you like. Okay, so it will animate it when you click on this button area. Button area is this thing. When you click on it, the height of this content will be 280 pixels, so it will be visible and it will be in animating way. Okay, I will explain you other parameter of the animate also, like you can define the speed at which or the rate at which this animation should occur. And I say open equals to true. It's very simple thing. When open is false, make open true and make the thing visible. When again if you click and if I query, if open is true, make open false and make the height 0 back. And along with this, one more thing you need to do, like you can see over here what is actually happening. Initially it was this. When someone clicks on it and if the state is open, if the open variable is containing false value, you can see here open, that's why I declared open equal to false. If open equal to false, here it is checking. So what it will do, it will simply, if someone clicks on it, it will increase the height of the content area from 0 pixel to 280 pixel. At the same time, notice one more thing, this follow us button changes into this button. This is the same image. If you remember here, this was the image, two part of the image. I was displaying initially, if you remember, only 25 pixel of the image, and now I will suggest the position of this image should be changed from 0 to 25. It's earlier 25 to another 50 or 53 portion, like this. It's very simple. Let me write it so that you will understand. I will say in the context of this element, right now I'm inside the button tag, like I have queried the button. If it is clicked, the function is there. So if I use over here to refer to the current element, I can use this keyword, as we have this keyword in our programming language to refer to the current instance of the class. Assume this button as a class, although it is not. Just for making an assumption, I am saying you to explain it. You assume that this is the button class. You said this refer to the button and dot css means apply some changes to the css property of this button. What you need to do, you need to change the background position of the button. Rather than applying a new image, you have the button, you see over here once more, image is here. You just need to say when it is clicked, first of all content should be visible, and this image I will refer to, this button is actually an image, a sprite, you just change the position of the image from 0 to 25, not 25 to 100. As I said, suppose it's 100 pixel. Earlier I was displaying 0 to 50 pixel area, and now I will say position should be moved and it should be displayed from 50 to 100. For that I'm using jQuery, a shortcut over here. I write this to refer to the button, then call CSS. CSS method will simply accept two parameter, key and value, what you want to supply. I say what property I need to modify is the background position. Background position, and I specify a property bottom left. Actually it can take a lot of values. Thing is to you look over here. This is a container. Okay, this contain button and this contain the second area content. When you click on it, what happens? Actually the thing is happening, the image that was displayed earlier, this image first half, it's going to change its position from the first half to the second half. For specifying this, suppose this button is being displayed over here as the first part. I say display its second part in terms of bottom left. What bottom means? Actually there are two things here. In background position property of CSS, first parameter refers to the horizontal position of this particular element you are talking about. This means button. You are talking about the you are talking about button. For button, the background position should be horizontally bottom and vertically it is going to be left. I am suggesting. Okay, look here. Bottom means it will, if it is the container and this is the area for button, this is the area for content, it will come to the bottom of it and it will go to the left of it. So completely it will be visible. And similarly when you click on it, I will say come to the position that is going to be top of left, so that when it is going to be open, it comes to the top of the container. This is your container. Let me explain like this. This is a container and I'm just talking about this button area, green one. You see, this is your container. This was your browser. This was your red one is your container. This is hell or kind of elements over here, and this green part is first part of button, second part of button. What I suggest over here, let me just do like this. I say whenever someone clicks on it, this should be popped up, it should be visible whole container. Inside the container, earlier it was being visible something like this portion. Now I say just hide the upper portion and show only the lower portion from here, this portion. How exactly the thing is going to happen, you need to specify for the background position of this sprite what exactly it is going to be. I say bottom left. What does it mean? This is the container, and in terms of container, bottom it comes down and to left it will show the complete first portion of the image. Similarly when it is open, I will say exactly I am right now dealing with open part, means if it is false, and if it is going to be closed, I will say come to the top and move to the left. It means it will be completely displayed over here. Let me show you this. Actually bottom left I specified for background position, and open I made true. Second part, else, of course if open is false, this part will execute, but if open is not false, this portion else will execute. Here again the same code I am going to repeat, has content dot animate, and this time height becomes 0. Like simply I say height is going to be 0 pixel. Second property, I refer to the button. This refers to the current element, that is button. Here I say CSS, and here I say background position. You have to be very careful while typing. A small mistake can take several minutes to find out the reason what is causing that here. Top left. Okay, and this is the second property. Lastly, open equals to false. We are completely done, but still I think I need to explain you some important things over here, cause you might get confused. This is the first time you are using it, or if you know already, you can just skip. This is all done. We are ready to go and move with the we can view in the browser what is happening. Let me show you this. Local preview, test here. Now you click on the follow. That's all set, done. If you don't believe me, let me close everything over here. See here, no browser is running. You are done here. Tests with the browser. Here comes our application, that is pop-up test. Okay, I click on this follow-up. See here, it's coming. It's all done. How this is moving up and how it is moving down using this animate function. I say height of the content. Currently I am referring I found this element content in the HTML document hierarchy, and the DOM hierarchy I said animate with this content with a property of height 280 pixel. If open is false, means it is not visible. You click on what? You click on button, and this open is false, then content should be animated to 280 pixel. And if it is going to be true, means open is true, it is visible, and if you click on the button, in this case animate and make height 0, hide it. But important property here is the background position of the button that is getting displayed over here. The background position for the button is bottom left and top left. How exactly? As I explained, we have a sprite, CSS sprite. Rather than calling it a combined image, you call it CSS sprite. Other name is combined image. This combined image, one portion that is bottom, you can see over here, bottom left and top left. I am specifying the background position to be changed. If it is in the closed state, so its state it is closed, we say the bottom left, from horizontal it should go to bottom, and from vertical it comes to left. And similarly for the vertical position I specify over. Right now what you can see, when I click on it, it comes and it goes. And if you want to change the rate at which it is getting displayed, you can specify that time over here along with the animate function. First parameter we specify what property need to be changed for this content, for this particular element that is such, using making use of jQuery. Second property you can specify the rate, like I say here 5000 millisecond, means 5 seconds it will take to for the animation. And similarly here also CSS background position, here sorry, I specify 5000. Animate in two cases, I save the changes over here, and again I need to make a refresh here. Now this time it will take 5 seconds. Let me check over here. What I just entered is 5000 and 5000. Here I guess this need to be specified in single quotes. First parameter and second parameter. See, or I just need to reload it. It's not taking 5000, it's coming very quickly actually. Local preview. Rather than having this amount, you can also specify it slow, fast, slow. These are the keyword that we can specify in double quotes, of course. I guess it should be double quotes. I did it. Slow, fast, or normal. You can specify the value. Just need to save the changes, okay, and you just view it once more. Here, look here, it takes some more time. You can see here the button got changed and it's falling up. If you make it fast, it will come quickly and it will go. Like if I say fast, okay, for fast the value is, I guess for this time is 200 millisecond. I'm not sure, you can check on the documentation. And for slow it is 600 millisecond. 600 millisecond it is taking. And now you can see over here, the less the value is specified, more quickly it will come. The more value is specified in millisecond, the more slowly it will come and go. Now refresh it and just click, it will come fast. See here how fast it is. Observing it, and earlier it was slow. So this all effect you can specify, and the time in millisecond also is specified. Like this 5000 I was specifying for making it more slow or more fast or whatever you like, you can do. You can play it with you can see the online documentation for it, because these are a lot of properties available over there that we use in time to time whenever we require it. Okay, so this is all about creating it. So as we discussed, there are 3 parts in it. First part was creating an HTML content that we did. First we have declared all the div tag and elements over here. You can see over here all the div created over here. One container containing button and content containing text, and there was heading tag, follow, get element, get all the post delivered. Then we have created a form with button and kind of thing. This was HTML part. Second was applying CSS. So briefly we discuss about the CSS part. We define all the area, container you can see, content you can see over here, content, the button and text, all we have specified. Button, content, text. Then we discuss final step, the magic of this effect, using jQuery to add the required effects. What all we did is simple small script. First we imported the library using this statement. We made import for src, this library in our folder. Second we wrote our small function in jQuery. You can use over here jQuery also. It's also gonna work the same way. Everywhere you have to write jQuery, but that's why a substitution, this particular character is provided. Okay, you can make use of this character only. That is easy for us to follow. Okay, Then I explained it how exactly this is working. One function animate, how it is changing the position for the CSS sprite and it's getting displayed. This is all about displaying it and creating a pop-up. And one last thing I would like to show over here. Yes, this running application, see over here. You see, this is a site with a lot of contents, not lot, but of course it is easy to demonstrate. You see here, this button is sticks over here, just like in case of Facebook or other social media site. You see over here. You see over here, the content I am scrolling, still it is over here with all the features. Okay, I write over here email ID. Okay, I click on the the pop-up comes, but still this has nothing to do with the backend. What exactly it is a layer containing for the layers, and we have this all design. The same you can embed in any web application you have created, and you can see it will be stick over here because the position already specified was fixed for it. So this is the running application or running instance I have created earlier to show you how exactly the things are going to work in actual practice. And if you have any doubt or query regarding any portion of this discussion like CSS or jQuery mostly you are going to have difficulty with, then you can go to the online documentation to understand it. And in case if you face any difficulty, you can post the queries over there, and I request you not to write in the chat boxes because the chat boxes are not delivered to me when I'm offline. But if you post your requirements or the tutorials you want to then you should write it in the comment any previous video that you have watched and you want more videos related to that or any other topic related to any technology. Just simply you write it as a comment. It doesn't matter what video you're viewing, you write your post and it will get answered. Okay, so that's all about creating a sliding window, or you can say a sliding pop-up like Facebook. This is the tutorial. Okay, thank you very much.